Hello, everyone. How are you doing? This is Darylguberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. Today is going to be a very in-depth video. I hope you stick around and watch it, especially for those business men and women who got AS9100 or any other ISO derivative and are accredited by ANSI-ANAB. They are the biggest scam this world has ever seen. They are. And it's all due to Boeing and them working, colluding together for over 22 years, and Boeing never had the AS9100 certificate. They lied to all of you. And that was done through ANSI's and ANAB's registrars, who'd go up to you and say, I was out there. I'm not making this shit up. If you want to get into Boeing as a supplier, you have to be ANSI-ANAB accredited. Yes, from our registrar. No, there's about 60 of them. But when I was in plastic distribution, I dealt with Lockheed Martin. They said, Daryl, we usually only accept registration TUV and DNV registrars. That's my word against Lockheed, and Lockheed sits on ANSI-ANAB's board, so you can tell where that's going to go. Here it goes. Darylguberman exposes one of America's largest industrial scams, Boeing and the private accreditation cartel. Darylguberman, recognized quality expert and Boeing shareholder, has sounded the alarm on what he calls one of the largest industrial scams ever hidden in plain sight. His findings connect Boeing, one of America's largest defense and aerospace companies, with the American National Standards Institute and the American National Accreditation Board. The heart of the problem: Boeing told its suppliers, you must get certified under ANSI-ANAB accredited auditors or registrars, or we won't do business with you. This created a monopoly system. Just like Lockheed Martin has the same system, ladies and gentlemen, the same one. And we've got letters to prove that. We really do. Where thousands of companies were forced to pay money into a single private network just to stay on Boeing's supply chain. At the same time, ANSI and ANAB appeared on federal government websites, including the DHS. And on the NIST program, that's even better. We had a gentleman from Constep in Connecticut write one of our customers back in 2016 saying, getting a certificate from government, you have to be ANSI-ANAB accredited because getting a certificate from Guberman PMC is like getting a certificate from Columbia. Not the university, the country. Or for those Colombians out there, I'd be pretty pissed at this guy. No, honestly, it's called ConArtist, a NIST MEP. Okay, a National Institute of Standards and Technology Manufacturing Extension Partnership. And you know something? There are 50 strong in 50 states getting both state and federal funding, whereby 64.85% of those funds go to pay their management and personnel. And you can't make that up. And when I complained about this to George Jepson, he was at that time the president of the National Association of Attorney Generals. And guess what? They were in bed with the Department of Homeland Security and ANSI-ANAB. How do you like them apples? Isn't that bullshit? Oh, my God. And Constep was even on the Connecticut's tax. $500,000 they were getting. That's for another time, another video, but let's continue on. At the same time, ANSI-ANAB appeared on federal government websites, including DHS, giving the impression that they were official arms of the United States government. In reality, they are private nonprofit groups making millions of dollars from certification and fees. How the money moves: suppliers pay fees to ANSI-ANAB accredited registrars. Accredited registrars pay back into ANSI-ANAB accreditation system. ANSI-ANAB executives benefit from high salaries and federal endorsement. Boeing benefits by controlling its supply chain without deeper government oversight and without having on-site auditings at their suppliers for 22 years. You don't even know if those parts were heat treated properly or welded or anything else. Beautiful. And now the public is left with weaker safety checks, more risk, and tragic failures like those seen in the Boeing 737 MAX. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Boeing was made an agency of the FAA in 2009 that they can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification, right? That was on the ANSI-ANAB webpage, Management System Accreditation Committee. And Boeing wasn't even AS9100, and they're telling you that they can grant, suspend, or withdraw certification on your business? Are you kidding me? For 22 years, they worked without AS9100, without standards. What the hell were they building 8 to 12,000 planes that are buzzing around your head? Yeah, unbelievable. Boeing was made an agency of the FAA in 2009 to self-certify their own aircraft. Aircraft technologies like the MCAS system that killed over 340 plus people in the Indonesian Air and Indonesian and Ethiopian airline. You cannot make this up. And also aircraft designs. They made Boeing employees, some of them. The FAA was a Boeing/FAA employee getting their salary from Boeing. And that means that any CEO like Dennis Muhlenberg and you have David Calhoun, they were basically administrators of the FAA. And then all of a sudden, those two planes crash with innocent human beings on there. And first off, the DOJ says, Boeing lied about that to the FAA. They should have told them about the MCAS. Ladies and gentlemen, they didn't have to tell the FAA. They are the FAA. They didn't have to tell the FAA. They are an agency of the FAA. Don't listen to any of these people. And the DOJ, to make matters worse, the DOJ, the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Commerce, and the FDA all sit on ANSI-ANAB's board as customers too. So they're lying to you. Isn't that a tender moment in a turbulent world? It's very problematic. And then 10 years later, an FAA, a spokesperson, basically said, the FAA never allows a company to police themselves or self-certify. Who's bullshitting who? Why this feels like a scam? To understand how dangerous this is, imagine this. The Department of Transportation puts on its website, only Joe's Garage can check and approve car brakes in America. Now, every mechanic shop in the country has to pay Joe's Garage to get certified. Joe gets rich. Government employees sit on Joe's board while still collecting taxpayer salaries. Ford, GM, and Toyota force all their suppliers to go through Joe's system. Joe doesn't even check brakes properly. He just stamps approved. Just like ANSI-ANAB. Just like NADCRAP, and I dealt with them. I've got all their documents. But why are there so many lawyers on NADCAP? Call them up, ask them. That's all they got, a lot of attorneys. Or you can give Doug Ackerman a call at Boeing, the new vice president of quality. He's been there for 30 years. The worst thing is that between 2020 and 2022, he was vice president of, I think it's source inspection. He must have been smoking a cigar and doing golf because they didn't have a source inspection. Just send in your parts, send in your certs, and you're good to go. Only if need be or need arises would Doug Ackerman and his personnel join the forces and see what happens. That means after a plane goes down. So Joe doesn't even check brakes properly. He just stamps approved. The result, car breaks down. Accidents happen and the public is put in danger. That's exactly what Darylguberman discovered in the Boeing ANSI-ANAB network. The bigger picture, ANSI-ANAB, not elected, not government, but advertised on the DHS and NIST websites as if they were NIST websites. I have the letter. That already constitutes the mess with ANSI-ANAB, and he mentions them. A government agency cannot do a recommendation, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. We've got it all. We've got 40 years in quality. We are a Boeing shareholder. Federal employees drawing six-figure salaries while moonlighting on ANSI-ANAB boards. Boeing pressuring its suppliers into the system, ensuring no alternative voices or oversight like me. In fact, they're trying to sue me, ANSI-ANAB. Don't worry about it. They're shill. Oh, he filed bankruptcy for $632,000 in 2016. This is a regulatory capture at its worst, where private groups take control of public trust and the taxpayer pays the price. Guberman's warning, this isn't about paperwork. This is about safety, integrity, and the lives of the American people. When Boeing suppliers are forced into a closed-loop certification system, that isn't truly independent. Even every person who flies in an airplane is put at risk. I am calling for more than congressional investigation, more than senatorial investigation, because they are compromised. All our senators, all our congressmen, because Lockheed Martin has the Lockheed disbursements in all 50 states. You have Democrats and Republicans all getting on the dole. Oh, it's $1,000, $5,000. Listen, it doesn't take much to sign appropriations, okay? Just listen to that. In every state. Independent oversight of Boeing supplier certification system. Me, I'll do it with my team. That's what they need. Every certificate that ANSI-ANAB issued, because Boeing was on their management system accreditation committee for 22 years without AS9100, every one of your certifications accredited by ANSI-ANAB. That is like, okay, D&V, Perry Johnson, BSI, BBQI, DNV, DQS, Intertech, all of them are fraudulent at best. And you want to come after me, registrars? Go. Make my day. Expose this. Get this disease out into the public like I'm doing right now. All of you should be ashamed of yourself because you ripped off American companies $4.3 billion just for AS9100 certification while Boeing was not certified. Independent oversight of Boeing's supplier certification. Public awareness so that taxpayers, passengers, and workers know what is really happening behind the scenes. Darylguberman is a recognized quality expert and Boeing shareholder who has spent 40 years fighting for transparency in aerospace manufacturing and public safety. In April 2024, I stood up publicly and held up 2 documents that exposed Boeing's negligence when it came to supplier auditing. Their negligence when it came to AS9100. They have between 8,000 and 12,000 planes that are buzzing around. And let me tell you something, I've been out in the field for a long time. Heat treaters, don't get me wrong. Many are good, but many skip processes. Many shave off time. We have that. Welding, same thing. Did they have certified welders do that? We've been in places where some of their welders were not certified. Are you kidding me? That doesn't mean it's bad, but it's suspect. 203-556-1493. I thank you.